Hey guys, Chris Adams here. I want to talk to you today about taking your existing grip off of your favorite rod and replacing it with the new Winn Grips. Now, for those that have not heard about the Winn Grip, this is a company, Winn, and they have been predominantly a golf grip company. They've taken their patented polymer design from golf and they've come into the fishing industry. They call this their Winn Dry polymer, and what it does is it has great wear, longevity, it doesn't get hot, and it kind of creates a little bit of a tacky feel. It's not sticky, but it's just enough to give you grip in cold, heat, when it's rainy. It really does a good job. So what I've got here is I've got my favorite swim jig rod. It's got standard EVA, which it's been fished probably about 2 years now, and it sees a lot of use. I mean, this is by far the rod that I have in my hand most of the time. It's a 7-foot heavy. It's the MB844 by MHX. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start by taking a razor blade, and we're going to cut at 12, 3, 6, and 9 all around this grip. And what that's going to do is it's going to take it all the way down to the blank. You're going to cut it at an angle, just like that, and go all the way down to the blank and slide it down here to the very bottom. And what that's going to do is it's going to cut it, and then it's going to allow you to take a set of pliers or your hand and peel that EVA away from the blank. So typically the EVA, when it comes onto the blank, it squeegees a lot of the glue out away from it, so you really just have a very, very thin layer but a very good bond. So when you pull that away, you're not going to have typically a lot of just gnarly, craggly glue that you're going to have to take away from the rod. But use pliers. I always use vice grips for everything. You can use a file, you can use some sandpaper, but what we want to do is we want to get this grip off of the rod, and we're going to do the same with our butt cap. My butt cap is EVA. We're going to cut it at 12, 3, 6, and 9, and we're going to peel it away as well, and then we're just going to be left with a plain blank. And we might have to touch up the blank a little bit, but now we're going to we'll take the Winn Grip and we'll go in from the butt end rather than have to strip the whole rod bare and come down. So let me get that cutting and we'll get started. See, and the hardest thing about this is maybe just getting it started. You got to snatch off a couple chunks, and then from there you should be able to peel it back like that. It's almost coming apart like a banana peel. It's still going to break apart a little bit, but you can see there it's coming apart pretty clean. One thing you might want to do when you get the grip off, it's got some hanging pieces on there. You might want to just take your razor blade and lay it on its side and just kind of clean those edges up. Alright, so I've got most of the grip off here, and I've even sanded it a little bit to kind of take down the edges of the rod finish. Now I've just got some 91% rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to kind of clean this up so that the glue is going to come back and stick well to it. Alright, so right now you can see we've got the grip off. Okay, that's just right into the reel seat. Everything is good and clean. I got it as clean as it needs to be, so that because we're going to be going back in and we're going to be adding Pro Paste, which is the 2-part epoxy, to get this. It not only gives it a little easier chance to slide up, and then what it does is it'll lock it in place, and then you have the ability to turn it a little bit, kind of position it. Because with this one, you'll notice there is the MHX on the Winn Grip. So we're going to take that and we're going to position that up. So that's really how the handle should look. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to slide down to the fighting butt and do the same thing. Okay, I've got my fighting butt off, and I'm going to come back this section here with some alcohol too, just to clean it up a little bit. Now keep in mind, this project is messy. I mean, on a scale of 1 to messy, it's messy. So don't do this on the dining room table without asking your wife or your mother's permission, because you'll get a chewing in a hurry. So I've got this cleaned up, and that's how it looks when it's all clean. It's down to the blank. Everything's kind of prepped. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and then we're going to get it slid on. Alright guys, what I'm doing here is I'm mixing up the epoxy, and sometimes I use these little tinfoil dishes. I'll cut a piece of cardboard in a square and use it. It really doesn't have to be anything fancy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it to the rod blank, and then we're going to slide our grips on. Now, Winn also has this two-sided double stick tape, and they use it a lot in their golf grips, and I just don't have any right now, but it's really neat where they take and spiral wrap the tape, and they put some mineral spirits on it. It cuts the adhesive real quick, and it makes the Winn grip slide on really easily. It's one of those things. I've seen them do it. It's really cool, and I've got a lot of confidence in the Pro Paste. I use it to glue up all my reel seats and handles, and I have done this before. Not using Winn grips back before they came out. It came out great. I just know that I've got a lot of confidence with the Pro Paste. The two-part epoxy, I'm going to mix it up, and we're going to slide it on. So what we've got is, like I said, we've got the MHX MB844, and there is one point that I do want to add about this. If you notice on this grip, there is this little piece here at the top. It's called a tenon. Okay, what that does is when it slides up, it helps center the grip in the reel seat. There is a cavity underneath this reel seat where when this slides down first and the reel seat comes on top of it, it sits on nicely. It helps keep everything square. It squares up the reel seat. Now, the EVA is difficult to get out of here. You could use a Dremel. You can just pick at it to get it out. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this tenon off. I'm just going to take a razor blade and just cut it flush. So you can see I'm going to cut it right there where the tenon comes down and meets the grip. So I'll show you in a second. I'm going to cut that off, and then what that's going to do is I'm going to pack the glue up at the reel seat, and this is going to slide right up and fit flush. Otherwise, if you don't cut that tenon off, it's going to sit down off your reel seat because the stuff is still packed in there, unless, of course, you want to cut it out and dig it out. I'm just really not going to worry with it. It really doesn't matter that much. So as you can see, there's the piece there, there's the tenon, cut it off flush. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the epoxy that I've been mixing here. Alright guys, so I think I've got the epoxy ready to rock. What we're going to do is we're going to take the rod blank. And I do not like to be shy with epoxy. I can use the rubbing alcohol to clean it off later with some paper towels. I really want to make sure that it gets on there, it gets in all the little nooks and crannies, and then it's going to help this grip slide on. So I'm really going to coat it up, and then we're going to get this thing slid on. What we're going to do now is we've got all the glue on, and we've got this reamed out. So these grips, they come with a certain internal diameter, and you've got to take them out to about what the diameter of this rod is down here at the butt. Otherwise, you'll never get this on. So what you want to do is go to mudhole.com, get you a set of extreme reamers. When you're buying your grips, get your Pro Paste, get your popsicle sticks. Always have some really, really sharp razor blades. And that's really kind of all you need for this job. It's pretty easy. It's like I said, it's just messy. So we've got it reamed out, and we've got the glue on here. We're gonna slide this thing on and see if we got it right. All right, so we get it on there, and now we're just working it to the top. You can see how this glue is wanting to squeegee everything up, which is good because it's going to help push that glue up there. So just keep working it, and it'll get locked into place. Now, like I said, it's messy, so we're going to wipe this glue away, and then we're going to come back with our alcohol to clean it up. Now remember, we got the grip on, course, we can come back here with a little 91% and get everything kind of cleaned up. I don't like to do a whole lot of cleanup until it's completely done, but I also don't want to be sticking my hand in glue every time that I do something. So I'm going to get some of this excess off, and then we're going to put the fighting butt on. If you notice, I'm not using the fast set. I'm not using the 5-minute epoxy. I don't like to rush any of this stuff, so if I had the 5-minute, we would have to be rushing, and I couldn't clean up a little bit, make it work, fit it, make sure it's centered, all that. So make sure you get the Pro Paste that's about a 45-minute working time. Alright, so we're going to add some glue here, and we're going to get our fighting butt put on. Just like with a regular grip, we're going to push it over the edge, get it started, and we'll get it up on and seated. Alright, so the preliminary fit looks killer. Took it from just plain EVA now to the Winn Grips. If you've noticed, I've got some areas here that I need to clean up. But honestly, these grips are excellent. We've been testing them now for a while. They wear well. Brandon Lester's been fishing them since the first of the year, and you know how much he fishes on the Elite Series. So he's really gotten just excellent performance out of these. I've been very impressed, and they just look cool. I mean, they match all my MHX stuff, and you know, cool, they work. I'm down with it. So we can replace everything. Don't be afraid to do this. Call the guys at Mudhole. They can really help you out with anything, help you, get all the parts and pieces you need, and any customer service. If you've got any questions on, again, how to do this, feel free to comment. I'm here to answer questions. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. But I'm going to just come here, clean the rest of this stuff up. But as you can see, good and clean. I'm going to make sure that the X's are lined up, and I'm done. So really, all in all, probably wouldn't take you 20 minutes. So then that way you just set them to dry. It's in the evening right now. I could fish them tomorrow morning and let it roll. So again, guys, visit mudhole.com for all your rod building needs, and check out the MHX stuff. If you haven't used any of the rod blanks or the Winn Grips, get you some. They're good. Thanks, guys.